I know you've been playing this. I know you've been playing this, Carrie, but you cannot blind that. Cannot blind. Okay, good. Can't blind Nidalee. Well, you know what? I thought the Nidalee into Jace wasn't going to be a complete stomp, and then it was. So, what do I know? What is Barrel's pick going to be here? Unless we're doing some really weird flexing, which I don't think is going to be the case.
Way, obviously, here.
Well, he is playing into Nico, so he might have something.
Renata?
Brom? Brom into Ornn always feels good. Brom into Jhin feels good.
Just a Barrel classic.
That's the Barrel classic. Just going to pick his Leona. Yeah, it really makes sense, right? The only downside I see is that the Merc's value will skyrocket, but it's not the end of the world. There is not that much AD damage towards the top side of the map, which with the Ornn might become a problem initially, or eventually. I do think aiming is going to go on hit in this, try and just maximize the damage. We'll see. I think T1, if it gets too late, is going to be feeling great, because I do really worry about who will kill.
Let's see how it's going to work here on the Rift for game number 1.
생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
All right, game number 1 of our second series tonight. Curious to see T1's form today and how well DK can take this one down, or if they do at all.
Ooh, aiming going for comment, so looks like he's going lethality instead. Will make him a bigger threat towards the rest of T1, so it makes sense from that perspective, but...
That this is happening, but they want to go for the 2v2 here, actually, as Barrel coming in, and so is Lucid. Guma in a bit of trouble. He does have the cleanse and the flash, but now going to get stunned down. There's the cleanse, but you just can't get away from the rumble, as it is a very nice gank set up here by DPLUS. Owner does come up, gets stunned, but Barrel is in a rough spot himself, so they do trade it back eventually, right?
He's dead.
Yeah, okay. Eventually, okay, they almost give the kill over a Faker, actually, which would have been nice. But Owner does pick it up.
Interesting sequence there. You'll take that trade if you are DK. He's aiming also forced the flash. And Doran's ult is on cooldown, so my guess is that 1-1 makes 2. I'm sure we'll get a replay of that while this was happening, which is definitely suboptimal. So they trade 1-for-1, but the grubs go to T1. There wasn't really any cross map. This should be a good angle for a dive, though. He's already aggroed on the turret, but I think it's fine.
Oh, well, they kind of just juggled the Ornn in between the turret, and Doran is going to go in onto Showmaker, and now he flashes, which you're already dead, so you're not going to get away anyway. Just wasting his flash, and now trying to flash in is Keria. That was never going to be a kill either. Maybe didn't know Barrel was there, but either way, kind of a funny scenario that they do find themselves in. So kill goes over to DPLUS, and maybe they do the dragon, but nah, we're going to back away. Show the Keria
flash. The Keria flash. If Doran had his ult, you know, he did get the flash for aiming, but if Doran had his ult, he might have lived there. Unfortunately, aiming won't have his flash for this fight.
This is going in directly on the Guma, but that is pretty deep. Keria zoning with the Pop Blossom as Lucid getting incredibly low. He will be punished for going that deep, but they do trade it back onto the enemy jungler. Now trying to take down Showmaker, but it's not exactly working out. They finally take down Barrel, and now Showmaker 1v3, but Faker dashes over the rocks and aiming nearly full health. He's going to take a big chunk, but now DK immediately turn it around as they go way too deep for that one, and they get punished immediately by DK.
You could have left! T1, just leave! Once a kill comes through, he gets his passive, he gets so much free attack speed. As he gets multiple blight stacks, he's still going to be doing a lot as a counter. Turn on Barrel.
Yeah, trying to go on a Barrel here. I think Barrel is just dead. 1v3.
Yeah.
He's going to start clearing the wave.
Hey, you warded!
Yeah, nice.
He gets value. Good stuff.
Okay, they finally killed the Leona.
At the fleet,
Nice.
fine. Big mistake by Doran, and I'm
Yeah.
a little upset about that. But the thing I always look towards is staying even in XP. And he's still behind, but obviously did die once due to the dive. Because XP for me is the biggest thing. When you can start giving out your ornaments, so much value is given W is used by Owner.
Yeah, he does back away. It's a bit of a fight for the grubs, but I think, you know, you've got Doran and bot. He does have TP, but a fight doesn't really break out. T1 don't want to go in on the grub fight, so they just back away.
The Showmaker, they're going to just accept. This is something that DK in particular do, and Showmaker does this more than almost any other mid. That one's called fishing for cleanse. He didn't hit. In this game, play for late game, you have Ornn, you have Azir. I think even the Fairy is quite of a late game threat.
Even
get the resets.
Jhin, like
fine.
With the current builds, you know, where you go like IE third, I've been seeing that a lot. It feels like he actually does have a decent amount of damage. He's not always just running around dropping his bullets doing nothing.
It's not just Mosquito Jhin.
Actually does a healthy amount of damage, I'd say, in the current iteration of the game, with the current build that we see very often. So I don't mind it. You know, I think they do have a lot of threats later on, and especially you're going up into Lethality Varus. Also has decent late game damage, but isn't like the most scaly kind of guy. A little 1v1 here. Cleanse does come out. And that's Fishing for Cleanse, version 2.
This time it works, though. Aiming also doesn't get hit by the bouncing grenade, so nice. Nice done there. Because now Beryl can, with his ult, just force a flash out of Guma. He needs to be careful. Yeah, I do think that, I forgot which patch it was exactly, but it was a patch like, I want to say 5-6 patches ago, where they changed Lethality Varus, and I do think he's much more of a threat now. Is Faker just going to get his turret and leave, and the game is basically even. And what makes this game really interesting to me is that, as mentioned, I give T1 the edge in scaling. I also think that the range with the Jhin and the Azir in particular is really nice, but the front to back for DK is also still great. And the amount of team fight AoE damage they have between the Taliyah, the Rumble, is kind of crazy. And trying to play even Ornn into Taliyah, I think it's actually so annoying. Because whenever you ult, if you're doing it too close, right, you can just block it either with the W or with the E. See how DK can play around that, but clearly either team is saying, we skill. Just relax. Just chill.
Yeah. Both of them just sitting around. Neither team going for the Chemtech Drake either. It felt like a little bit of a standoff, a bit of a stalemate over that Drake, where both teams were setting up vision around it, but nobody got a clear advantage, so they were both like, well, we don't want to take a risk on it, so we'll just leave it.
Risk-averse gaming in my LCK.
Yeah, very different from the first series, which was, well, risk enjoyers.
Well, they were just risk ignorers. Risk isn't real, Valdez.
Yeah.
As an early TP, maybe they'll just take the TP and let you go for the turret. We'll see. Looks like they're still posturing. Might be looking for a TP angle here.
Yeah, I think it's going to go onto that control ward right there. He's getting his bar ready, but still a bit of time, so he'll be able to push a wave in first. Still doesn't have to, as you mentioned before. There's the wall. Lucid in next to the Rift Herald as Doran going to get stunned up. There's the smite going to Lucid. They get it. A nice ult comes in from Doran. The follow-up a little bit late, but now Lucid in a rough spot as down will go Showmaker, down will go Lucid, and now the ult goes in on Aiming, who actually does survive for quite a while on Xiu, doing a decent job of zoning away. T1 can't quite put the nail in the coffin, but they did get a couple of kills and win the fight at least.
I also don't think I'm not sure if DK got the eye. Maybe they did in the end.
I don't think so.
If Lucid doesn't hit that wall slam onto Carrier, that fight is a complete disaster. T1 actually playing really nicely with the range there. Coming in from multiple angles. Yes, Doran dies, but he's kind of the ideal target to go down anyway. And there you can see, confirmed, not actually going to see that eye picked up. So really big win for T1. They get bunch of kills, a great way because of the fact that they've used so many resources on Doran to actually get on top of Guma, was unthreatened there. T1 is just saying, well, you can have the dragon, I don't really care. You're going to get the full outer ring of turrets with Faker picking up yet another.
Infernal Solo coming through, and definitely very good with scaling. Probably our best Soul. So we're in this one for the long haul. It's still a relatively even game state, but T1 definitely took a big step into the lead after that fight. So gotta like their chances, you know, with their scaling comp, with Infernal Soul on the Rift. It feels like they are in control of this game right now. Now there's still threats on the side of DK, obviously. But I don't like their position here. Feels pretty good for them at this point in time.
Do agree. We'll see. Knowing DK, we are going to get a crazy Otacon setup as Beryl goes in.
Just baiting out the ult, you know. Just a normal day in the life for Beryl. And now we got, the big impale! Gets him over the wall as well! And that's the end of Owner. And T1, they were in a good spot, but now they're losing 2 as big damage comes out. And the flick on a Faker into the ult from aiming. It is massive for DK, and right before the Otacon spawns.
Oh, according to Beryl's plans, I can hear Atlas yell. He's not even in low bar! As Beryl sets up a tasty bait, and guess what? They fall for it, as this should never ever hit the mark, although Lucy's gonna take a low.
Don't even just run away! There's no chance you're stealing that as Jin. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, if the wave was pushed up,
he's level 3.
Should be looking at getting Cyrilda's next, which is gonna make his damage even more threatening. And you can see Banana Brush control, they're scared to actually go in on Lucid. And they should be, as this might be a make or break fight, right? Baron is spawning in about 50 seconds, and T1 calling the bluff, saying if you just fully commit to this dragon, getting an inner is nice. This isn't sole point. It looks like T1 is just going to take that, and I think this is fine.
Yeah, I think it's the right call. It doesn't feel amazing, but you shore up a little bit of your gold deficit, and also you didn't want to push into... They will be able to.
Ooh, tension, Valdez. The range for T1, we talked about it earlier. You can see it in action here. Sums available for basically everyone.
Yeah, T1, just go Baron. Just say,
they're
okay,
going. Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, they're going.
Either you fight us on Baron, or we'll take it. Because they do have a lot of damage with the Azir, with the Nefiri.
All in the bluff.
Yeah.
But T1 have a ward on Dragon, so they know there's not an individual member doing Drake, and no one on DK is really that good at soloing it, except aiming, but he can't really walk over.
Yeah, but DK, they know that T1 aren't going to take the risk of starting it at this point in time.
There's so much AoE damage is the problem. If you're in the pit and you get toasted, or Showmaker gets on top of you,
or maybe they will just start it.
Well.
Oh, okay, well they started it and then they didn't. So they're trying to turn onto a Leona, not the best idea, but Beryl does get extremely low, as now Doran also not the target here. Getting out of that back line as Siuda disappears, the damage was insane! As he just gets crit down. Beryl also in trouble here. Amy taking a bunch of damage as now the engage comes in from Keria, and Owner is going insane mode on this back line. Incredible play from Owner in that fight. And DK, they tried to call the bluff and they got stomped down.
Shiu thinks he's tanky with these items. It makes a little bit of sense, but instead he just gets one-tapped. I think it was Guma with the auto, and the fight starts up because I think it was aiming, getting a really big Q on multiple members. And it's again the flank. There's no way Lucy can actually do this, right? Yeah, I was about to say, he just doesn't have the damage. So that's going to be Baron. Off of an amazing team fight here for T1. For DK is that they do not give the dragon yet, but I don't think they can actually fight this, right? They're just going to watch it be taken, and DK, it looks like T1 fighting just a little bit too much. T1 just biding their time. Still has less kills, by the way, than DK do.
Well, just throwing in a Pop Blossom just to try to survive, but he's going to die anyway. Nice little pick from DK. Gonna take out the Nico, and Beryl doesn't get rooted either. Big seismic goes in! As all of a sudden, he goes in. I'm not sure about that one. Owner just avoids the impale. And it's a trade. Now, I feel like this is still good for DK, even though the end of that was rough. They did take out one of the guys that had Baron and stop the push.
He'll take it.
Now we're fighting. We're looking for Guma. He's in a bit of trouble, but he does flash away. He does an incredible amount of damage at this point in time. And sticking around is DK. They're committing.
DK?
They're committing to this one, but now the Jin has opened up. But the Jin is low. They're trying to just run at the Jin. It's not exactly working either. Okay, they do take him down. Siu, though, going 1v2 on the top side. Eventually, he does die, but Owner trying to go 1v3. He takes out one, and the dogs are soaking up so much damage, but Showmaker just trade it back. And now, it's kind of an even fight. Doran has to frontline. The TP! Oh, Garia does come over, and that'll be the end of that. as both of them get taken down, and T1 win the fight eventually.
Still think T1's favored. Think DK are gonna have to fight in
Close game though.
uphill battle. But this is a banger, Val.
This is good. This is what we wanted.
Yeah.
We expected a bit more from our first series, but now maybe it's leaked over into our second series, which we also expected a lot from. Today is a good day to be an LCK fan.
Void Staff now for Shiu as well. I'm no longer worried about Doran surviving. They really, their itemization has been very on point. And as mentioned, I think that since the changes, lethality Vera's late game is actually disgusting. Like, you do so much damage if you hit a squishy.
Yeah.
And he will have to, because they are outranged outside of that. And now T1, full ornaments across the board.
The damage dealt definitely tells the story that you were trying to say, that you were trying to tell. Just gonna ult aiming
they're
here.
falling for it.
And they're going pretty deep for the Boris as the ult comes in and aiming goes incredibly low, does get taken out, but now Owner is so deep behind enemy lines, that's the ult back on a barrel, but still does go down. But they took out Showmaker amongst the chaos, and this is a great opportunity for T1 to potentially end the game. Shiu gets taken down by Faker, and that'll be the end. A double kill as Faker does dive the turret. And now they're looking for, they don't quite have the wave, but they're clearing it, and I think the death timers at 35 minutes should be long enough.
They will be. Doran on a tank, Guma on Jin. The T1 going to get themselves a big win here in this series. And great one to start, back and forth here. T1 though, once they got control, once that fight came through, once Shiu ended up dying, didn't really ever feel like T1 was gonna relent. It tells you what it does on the it's very straightforward, right? It's a early game skirmishing and snowballing comp. It has a great late game win condition in the Gwen, but Gwen really at this point is in any point of the game win condition. And if they get to mid to late game team fights without really any substantial lead, I think they will struggle. I do think that the matchups are a lot better. Last time T1 had a neutralizing matchup in bot lane that they actually played really well, was even winning early, right? Guma and Carrier looked good. Carrier out of lane not so much, but in lane he was fine. And then in top lane you had Doran on the tank. Now you have Doran and Carry versus Carry, and Zyra Khan into Rel, and
we'll see how he does in that mid lane. Here's game number 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
All right, here we go. Into game number 2. We got a little setup up in the top side, but doesn't look like anything much will happen. Beryl gonna get a ward. GG.
melee form plus. Oh, aiming. Area?
They're gonna take a huge amount of damage. Aiming just sidestepping out of that one. But Beryl goes in on the feathers, and now Guma just walking forward into them. And he's got the most health. He is the most dangerous person, so takes a very good trade. The Q does miss the Gleaming Quill from the Rakan, but it's still a good situation here for the T1 bot lane.
But is it as good as getting double scuttle? I don't know. I don't think so.
And will be able to hold his own. I say that as now Shiu going in with the needles. Let's see who does win the trade. As flash on in, one more auto would have done it. But Doran holds on to his flash.
Shiu invests a lot, but doesn't actually get the kill. A little bit more damage could have done it. Both of them looking like they will be backing, but Doran cancels his. Shiu does complete his. Does now get the haunting, guys, but gonna be an opportunity here for Owner down the line to try and take down this Gwen. And now he's flashless. So we do have a grub for Dragon trade. Not riveting, but it sets up for an exciting mid-game, surely.
Does it? I mean, game one, we had a lot of this.
I'm hoping that if I say it will happen. And generally that's not...
That's the opposite of the way it goes.
Well, that's...
Here at the LCK.
I have no impact. We know that's how it works, right? I can.
That's what you think. Yeah.
No, I can say it, and it won't, or it will happen, but my words have no.
But if you said it, and then
okay.
We'll see how that works out for you. Shu kind of getting ganked here. Did not expect this, and now, with no flash available, it's just an easy kill setup for T1. First blood goes over to the Jace as well. It's basically perfect for them.
An OTP for Shu. Really nice timing there from Owner. Actually getting the full value out of that missing summoner there for the Gwen.
But I do know that T1 generally has their number. And it's coming into this one, you know, on paper, in terms of tier list.
Oh, again?
DK should be on top, but that's not the case tonight. As he will in a bit of trouble. A lot is going to miss onto the Gwen, but will it matter? Looks like yes, it absolutely will. Owner does get away though, and it's gonna chunk him out, and Doran does take a turret shot once again, but
ooh, you'll take that though. That's grubs.
Yeah,
that's gonna be 6 grubs for DK. Thanks to Shu surviving that one. This time, even without the flash, is able to dodge. Owner was also spotted, not getting quite caught off guard. Still gonna maintain the gold lead for Doran, obviously. That's not gonna be fixed that easily, but the game state for DK, at least towards the top half of the map, not in as much shambles as that 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, it really does feel like that's part of the reason why these two picks are so prevalent in our LCK meta.
They're always good.
They're always good. They're reliable.
You
know, it's like Xinjiao or Azir. It's like the favorite picks of the LCK. And they all have that thing in common.
This is
that they can do everything, essentially. Oh, 1v1 here. Charm just come down on a Faker, but still going to take a good trade. A lot missing there for Showmaker. And it's Chemtech Soul. We hadn't had one tonight.
I have no copium on the Chemtech Soul. Yeah, for DK, I guess it's okay. I don't know.
We'll trade here, but yeah, I mean, with Phase Rush and Yomu's, like, Doran can always take huge trades and just never be punished.
Yeah, there's no shot. This time at least, reinforcements are here. Lucid is waiting in fog. Oh, he's still outside of the vision.
Wow.
That ward did get spotted, but they are, yeah, there you go. They're like, I don't really trust it. It would have been a disaster had they gone in.
Shame on you. Do it twice. Shame on me. But yeah, it doesn't really seem like that was going to work as many times, especially into the Gwen that has ult. I mean, I guess Shu used it on the wave, but
unless
this time might be the charm, but Barrel's still here. So he's just hovering forever. It just feels like Barrel has decided he knows this strat. Maybe Shu doesn't, but Barrel does. This was the meta. Sit around and get one kill. And
watch it happen.
Yeah, we do have Doran trying to greed for the turret. He will get it, and now Owner comes down. Not going to hit the ult, though. Smite onto Shu, and we got TPs coming in from both sides, but Shu should be the first to go down eventually. As looks like he's still going to be alive, actually. They don't get him. Shu's just on the edge of this one. Faker wants something. As finally Owner says, okay, I'll take out the Gwen.
Oh, the resets.
So yeah, here comes the resets. Faker does try to go in, but it's a little bit too little and too late. And Lucid gets that first reset. Aiming comes on over. It's a kill for him. And Karya as well is going to be caught up in the mess. They give that kill over to Lucid, who is now very much enjoying his lead.
And if Shu has a little bit more mana there, that play isn't even close. He didn't have mana for ult. If he could get the needles off on either Doran or later on, that would have been a blowout. But T1 keep investing into this we gotta murder Shu again. And this time, DK is ready, as I was about to say, aiming, let them go. At that point, when Zaviego start resetting, get out of there.
It's Shu again, the target. But he's got backup, and he has mana now, so...
It's the power of friendship, Veldas!
Gotta be careful. The whole team is surrounding their top laner.
Don't worry, we got you!
And they have the gold leads, whereas Shu does not, so it kind of makes sense. If you want him to be part of this game, you have to enable him to be part of the game. You gotta get him assists, maybe kills, at least some farm. Otherwise, it's 4v5. And DK, they have more presence here on this objective. They'll take down the Rift Heralds. And they do have a gold lead. You know, that side lane with the top lane, specifically Shu, he is very far behind. And we have seen what Zeus is able to do with the very fed Jace. Is Doran going to be able to do the same? Yes, Zeus's entire team was also in a pretty good spot in that game. But Doran up 2k gold. It's on him now to potentially help out the team. Dig themselves out of the very tiny hole that they're in. Little Root comes in on aiming. He's in some trouble. has to use the cleanse just in an awkward spot.
Big mistake from aiming there, because they were setting up to get some damage here in the mid lane turret and then run straight back. He does have a good amount of healing, so the Raptors are going to be a tasty treat. Does mean that DK needs to retake control of this Dragon Pit and Barrel. Oh, there's a Giga Cone, Valdez.
Oh no.
What?
If it's used for action, if it's used for action, I'm okay with it. And there he goes. And, well, he's going to create space. As now Ingo's carrying him with effective. Wombo combo comes down from DK. They only get the chase, but he was the guy. He was the one guy who had to live. And instead, the rest of the low health members will be cleaned up here by DK. As Faker, the last remaining survivor, it's just going to be a clean 5-for-0 ace as the Mega Cone comes in.
Like, unless you get into aiming immediately, that's not quite enough as I don't know.
Barrel?
That's fine, it's Barrel.
Yeah, I guess they're baiting Guma. I don't know. It worked. Whatever that was. Guma just dying on the right side. And now, follow up here from Lucid, who is 4-0-5. 100% kill participation for him.
I don't think getting the Dragon was worth it, Valdez. I'm just going to make that call right.
Take the Chemtech Soul. I mean, they might not even get it. Aiming, nice dodge. Doesn't have his cleanse, but he will flash and get out of there. And Barrel's right there to set up for the team. Baker just a half-hearted ult just to do a bit of damage. Doran trying to go in, trying to flash for the kill. And yes, he will get it. But is it worth it? Might take down Barrel as well, but Shield comes in and Barrel will secure the kill.
A little stab from a little whoop. Gets the kill there.
And DK, I mean, this doesn't feel like game one where it was kind of anybody's game and, you know, it felt like DK maybe could come back. This one is just DK very much in the lead, very much in control in Omega Fed mid-jungle duo. And I don't think they're going to pull a KT. Aiming's like, no, Barrel, come back.
Yes, there is no similarities between DK and KT.
Yes, absolutely not. Okay, trying to bait this fight, I guess. As Barrel goes in, he's going to catch 3 once again, and the front line just dies. I mean,
it's Hail Mary.
T1 were not really ready for that fight, it felt like. And it's just going to be an easy cleanup for them. Lucid on the Omega Fed Viego. Not much they can do against that.
I think they thought they were ready, but they were not.
Yeah.
So game 3, Valdez, we're getting it!
We're getting a game 3.
Woo!
It's actually happening.
Let's go!
And
I liked game 1 more than game 2, Valdez. I have to be real honest with you.
Yeah. This one started off good.
It started off with great tension building, and then there was the one scene that just took out all the tension, and now we're just like, what?
Now it's just a Marvel movie.
We thought we were going for like cool atmospheric horror, and then it just turns into like, here's the monster. It's not scary at all. It's just gonna waddle around.
And you know exactly how it's going to end because you've seen this type of movie a million times.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Well,
Barrow hasn't died. That's what kind of game.
How is that even possible?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's Barrel's biggest problem. He's a KDA player.
Yeah,
right?
He doesn't go in enough, I think. he should definitely just in more, I think.
This is one of those games where Shiu afterwards, you know, you go to all chat and you say, better top one.
Top tip. Yeah. I mean, he might end up with a gold lead by the end of the game.
Just hit him with the top diff so that if you queue into them again.
I mean, for sure, mental advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, we're just going all in on the Doran, who tries to flash, but dies instead. And it's a 7th kill for Lucid, but they found Siwoo, and it should be a withdrawal here, but the needles are coming out, as is the miss. This Gwen is actually doing quite a lot, but does eventually lose the 1v2. And it's just a withdrawal, so DK not really caring too much about you in this case.
Trying to think of analogies, Valdez. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
What's your favorite horror movie? Do you have one? Like the genre?
Not particularly.
That makes sense.
Hereditary was pretty good. Guma just going to get ulted here once again as he gets flipped back by the Barrel. As T1 really on their last legs here. Faker desperately trying to do a bit of damage. No double up there, but it's still a Yone that is not able to do enough. They're too far behind. The wallets are so heavy. It's just a mid inhibitor. So the game won't end here. Aiming is just trying to bait this game to end, I think. As he flashes away, now just one shot away, not able to take a Guma. But he certainly did bait the fight.
5 seconds on the Otacon buff, DK. Maybe leave?
No. TPN. All right, well now they don't have the Otacon buff. We'll lose it.
We do need to leave, guys.
I mean, T1 identified that's gone, and...
Oh, maybe the horror movie is that DK somehow loses this game and we're just going to be caught off guard by the twist?
No. Well, no. Just, yeah, not quite going to happen. They're just blocking everything and knowing exactly where Faker's going to come back to. See, making back some of that gold that he lost earlier on. And Owner as well will be a sacrifice here on the left side for the team. As there you go, he does gain a gold lead by the end of the game. Keria just trying to catch the wave here. And a little desperation. He knows the game is over, but he'll be able to delay just a little bit as she was in their base. just catching the bot wave at the same time. DK having a bit of fun at the end.
DK gonna bring us to a game number 3. It was a lot of comfort in the draft, and the game was actually quite close until it wasn't. And then from that point on, it was a beatdown. Very different from game number 1. As are we?
Yes.
Yes. Gotta crank up that shield, KD.
Yeah. Gotta play for that.
Yeah,
at least you're still playing into a decent amount of low range. You know.
It's yeah. I'm talking about the lane matchup. I think Brom always gets value into these picks. It might also again be the Poppy for barrel. We're not quite sure what the actual lock-in is going to be here.
Well, with Bengi behind Lucid with the book out, I think it's going to be support Poppy. Let's see. What do we got? Final pick here.
Like Pantheon's still open, but so I'm not surprised by this. I do think playing the Pantheon into the Brom is going to feel quite rough. I like it into Lilia though, having a guaranteed way to set up. And yeah, one of my favorite moments of the open mics is Lucid being like, I don't know, I've never really played Pantheon and Barrel, telling him just pick it or you should retire. And I was like, well, I'll lock it in.
Got him.
And then he had a great game. But
yeah.
2v2, absolutely disgusting here. DK is going to rely on that. If this composition falls behind against the one at T1, it doesn't do anything. And even then, the Brom is going to have a ton of value. And there is a saying.
Okay, well, we're ready. Let's hop to the roof for game number 3.
수환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Here we go, game number 3. All right, they're opting into a level 1 against Brom. But it's just 5-point start here for T1, so DK are able to bully him a little bit. I do like also that T1 are taking inspiration from Bro's drafting with the Lucian Brom here in game 3.
When is the world's Bro skin for Brom coming? It's just Bro.
Brom? B-R-O-U-M.
Yes.
Brom. Stand behind Brom.
You can see it, right?
And they try to do the dragon, but they're definitely sniffed out here.
It's really mean, because T1 pretended they were handshaking by starting a grubby, and then Lucid's like, okay, then I can start. And then, guess what? They lied.
They lied. And the dragon goes to T1.
It's a figurative gang.
Yeah, it's not literal.
It's the concept of the gang, Velvet.
Yeah, I take everything very literally, as you might have found out after game 1. Concept of a gang. I mean, Faker's up 23 CS, and that helps zone away Showmaker. Like, the wave was in a great spot for Faker after Showmaker backed. So, yes, Silas gets behind ranged champions that can poke him out a bit. But it's still a pretty hefty lead here for Faker here in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Also the bot lane.
This was a counter pick. That was attempted didn't quite end up working out, and Tier 1 looking very sharp here thus far in the early laning phase. Picked this for lane and was thinking that it was going to be a better time in the skirmishes. We haven't had any skirmishes yet. I don't know if we're getting any, because Dragon is just going to be given up.
I'm not sure what led them to believe that there would be action in this game. You know?
Well, you have to create your own destiny, VODS. You have to be the one that creates the action.
That's true.
Which they're not doing.
You have to earn recognition, you know?
Well, last time the game was close, and then DK won a 5-0. I don't feel like that's happening this time around, though. Drake is taken. Steadily, T1 just building upon these leads. I know Lucid's in the area, but he really wants the base. Sitting on his first item. There we go. Sunlit Sky done.
Played here for Faker. Just getting farther and farther ahead. He has the largest lead right now. It's becoming more than just recognizable.
We have a recognizable lead.
Yeah.
What's next? Do we just go to big lead straight?
No, I think it's just like a solid lead, you know?
Solid.
They're solidly in the lead.
Yeah.
This is where we get to the layer where it's like, okay, if you're Genji and Hama Life Esports up against any kind of like middling or low team, it's just over.
Yeah.
This is like the Wolf level of lead. As we got an arrow just gonna flash it, and now the Braum is in so much trouble as he's stunned 100-0. I mean, there was nothing he could do. Faker had to flash it though after being on target. So a nice arrow, a nice gank here from DK as they maneuver up and they create their own destiny.
They do. Oh, Guma. He doesn't know. Guma. Oh, he's fine. Okay. I already thought Barrel was gonna flash over and slam into the wall, but
I don't know. They didn't see him either.
Yeah.
Jonah Strong fooling us once again.
So now T1 has been demoted from a close to solid lead to just a recognizable lead.
Yeah. They were getting close to Tier 3, but now they're like back at Tier 2.
All right.
Especially because, you know, Grubs went over to DK again.
They're giving up a good amount of mid resources as well.
Maybe not top 8.
And then we get to
like unlosable.
Massive. Then we get to unlosable.
Yeah.
And at what point do you truly trust if you're a DK or KT fan? What lead? Where on the skill do we...
Oh, the arrow's insane! Aiming Zash! I should not have called for the SERIE when he can play Ashe like this. And he is the one setting up all these plays. 2 assists now for the man. He has made both the kills happen. Yeah, like T1 are still in the lead, but it's basically even. Let's see it. Pings it, sends it out.
No notes. I love that Lucid also ults here, because we have to actually have Carrier roaming up as well. And Showmaker does obviously use a lot of burst as...
That was sick, right? That's what he said.
I don't think anyone can. I think she stands alone. Oh,
it's just you never expected. Very fast, but you can't get away from that amount of CC. Knocked into the wall, but Carrier comes on over, helping him out of it. He's holding the door, and now they've gone very deep for this one. We got the Dominus, the buff level 11 one, ticking away the damage. And there goes Shiwu, who just got baited into this one by his team. And now Barrel, well, he's dead. The only question is who's going to get the kill. As he's very fast, but Lilia's faster. And eventually, yeah, the bowling ball hits him in the face. That's a nice kill for Owner. Another arrow. No way. No, 3 for 3. And this time, doesn't look like Showmaker's going to be able to kill him as he's full health with a Roa and another Ruby Crystal. But still.
I think these fights are going to keep looking this messy as we have a lot of good souls still on the table. This Dragon, I do think, with how the positioning from T1 is going to go over, because it looks like Aiming is setting up a bait. Showmaker is in the area with Flash. Is Kuma going to fall for it?
I mean, Aiming might die anyway. Showmaker comes in, he's like, oh, well, I can't do much now. It's Infernal Soul.
Oh, yes, please. Either of these teams with Infernal Soul? Turret is just going to go, though. Like, DK are now sending Showmaker over. That turret is gone.
Yeah, we don't have any feats of warfare yet, so these turrets, that's the first turret going over to T1. They're getting one step closer, and they get the objective as well, so they will be able to pick up the feats. As the arrow's so close again, still going to go for it here is Beryl, but that is a Victor. And Beryl going to get stunned up here anyway. They don't quite have the damage with only Victor.
Yeah, they were looking for a play with Lucid there. He was actually sitting in the brush waiting to ult down to bot lane. If the arrow hits or if Beryl gets the stun into the wall, neither of those things happen. And this is a very beefy Victor, beefed up with Grasp and Roa. If this mid lane turret falls, and the Herald will ensure that it will, DK is rapidly losing control of the map.
Yep, Perry gonna put this one into the turrets, and he's gonna go for a little drive, looking for that bottom turret, which is pretty low. I think he's got it with this driving so far.
That's one.
All right, he's able to make the turn. There you go. Big hit in the bottom lane as well, and now Suyu half health. He's got to back away. Arrow gonna miss Doran here, so aiming very good at hitting the long range ones, but the short range right in front of you ones, not as good.
It's a different skill set, VODS.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, DK, they're suffering at a substantial deficit at this
TP!
point. Oh, TP. They got to make something happen is what I was about to say. They got to make plays, otherwise they just lose. And they will be able to find Faker here with a Pantheon ultimate and a TP. And there you go. So you're going to pick up the kill.
Oh, that's a heavy investment. You see T1 is learning. This was a counter pick, by the way, in tops for Shiyu.
Yeah.
Putting it out there. Hawk shot. Does aiming, does have two available. Does he want to use it on the dragon? Or as I think they can just say, hey, it's gone. Let's leave it be. It looks like that's the call. 2 items are just not done.
Yeah. Just didn't feel like they could fight at this point in time, so. I mean, he just walks away. Doran, though, he is behind enemy lines. He wants to make the fight happen. And, I mean, they're trying to engage on a Renekton that is actually quite tanky. But now the stolen Renekton ultimate Showmaker are going to show us who the real Renekton is. And, yeah, I mean, Doran goes for the angle. It looks like a team call.
Yeah, it must have
but it was way too aggressive.
What did they actually use, though? It's 2 ults for DK. And it's the ult from Guma and Doran, and T1's response is at, oh, I think they made the read that DK would go for Dragon. DK, they're not seeing this coming at all.
He's just gonna check the brush, Lucius is dead, and that's the jungler of DK off the map now. Yeah, now you can do Otacon. Now it's pretty safe.
They're gonna do Nash.
Yeah, they can do Nash, actually, that's much better. And
yeah, you saw aiming was trying to play. She was going to look for a back and TP in. I don't know if they have the time. They need to try and stop this, though. And they do have a lot of AoE damage.
I mean, Showmaker might just send it in with the Renekton ultimate, or they're just going to give it away.
Oh,
they just give it up.
I think you have to send it there. You might lose the game off of it, but I don't think you can just give them Baron and Otacon.
Well, you can just lose the game off of not doing anything as well. And I do have news for you, though. Beryl did, in fact, pick up his first item a minute ago.
Yeah, he got that in the kills. I saw that.
Yeah.
Would have been good if he had that when Lucid died.
Well, at least he had vision. He had control of the map with his control wards. And now T1, they have a very big lead.
Are they going to try and die? Like, are they going to die Faker? Yes.
Stopwatch. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but also just even the arm guard alone. Huh. Not the game 3 I was hoping for.
You don't like the 6 kills in 30 minutes?
6 kills in 29 minutes, VODS.
Yeah, again, I mean, DK got behind, they lost their lanes, and then they were like, huh. And T1 were like, well, we don't have to do anything. Like, there's no onus on us to do anything in this game. We have Victor, and we have Lucian Braum. Like, you're never attacking our carries, ever. It's just not going to happen. And now, greeting for the Gromp. We've seen this before. This time, it's not going to backfire.
Nice sidestep by Beryl. DK just want to hold on to their inhibs at all costs, because if they completely lose control of the map, I don't think they're ever getting it back. So now their game plan, I think, just becomes stall indefinitely and hope that the item lead at some point isn't that relevant anymore. It's kind of what I'm
I mean, you need like another 15 minutes for that.
I know.
I don't know if that's going to happen in this game. T1 shouldn't let it happen. And now the engage Braum actually not bad. Coming on in, nice amount of poke damage onto all the DK members. They have to back off the turret, and Owner's looking for more. Still got a minute on the Otacon buff, by the way.
And Baron.
And Baron. They actually synced it up very nicely. And there's no reason for them to ever back away. And just, even if they get a withdrawal, like, who cares? This is 200 gold. Just TP back in. So they're taking bot lane. They're taking mid lane. And DK eventually, we've said this, eventually, at some point, they do have to fight. Otherwise, they will just lose. You don't want to pull a Jin Air. There's a lot of gold on the map, okay?
Oh, yeah.
DK get one pick.
Because they got one turret.
One pick.
With double
objective bounties.
With double counter pick, by the way.
Yeah. No, T1 are in an unlosable position.
Okay, I wouldn't say that.
I'm going to say that.
Oh, I don't know about that, VODS.
I think with this comp and this game state, I think it's unlosable.
I wouldn't go that far. But if they do lose, it's not because of curses. It's because I think that there's always an angle. I was going to put that out there.
I am not as good at caster cursing as you are, so I wouldn't give myself that much credit. All right, Renekton ultimate stolen. He's going to look for the angle. They will fight eventually, I believe. Showmaker used it. He's not generating rage, so I don't know why. Okay, they're going to knock away the Braum, and they find the angle here onto the front line, and it's actually Faker who goes down first, but Doran in the back line ticking away onto everyone. He gets taken out as well. It's 5v3, and see who gets the resets. There was an unlosable Chronicler. There was an angle. They take 3 of them down. Showmaker trying to go in onto Owner. And will have it. That's the max range on the chains. And Carry is killing a turret in the base. He'll just execute to the fountain. The standing gold! The standing gold, the comeback for DK!
Wait, no, but like, because of death timers of Owner and Carry would have been enough. But instead, DK find a miracle fight. Curses aren't real.
Standing gold?
No game is on
standing gold.
Standing gold. And T1, I think you're still in a great position for this game. I would still pick them if I had to pick. 3 nibs are open. The map is in dire straits for DK, but we're getting a game, VODS.
DK didn't even get the drain.
I know. Well, they might.
They're definitely going to get it, but they didn't get it yet. So the tempo, you know, they need to spend some time to take this down. T1 might get some position around the Baron.
Oh, they are. Oh, the pigs are going down.
I didn't know I had these powers, Chronicler. I didn't know I was this good at caster cursing. But I have set it up perfectly to get a game on our hands.
You're a great caster, VODS.
I can see it.
This is all we needed. It's here. It's still a free kick gold lead, but now there's all of a sudden, but one lost fight for DK and the game is over.
I feel like the entire tone of the game as well is shifted. T1 now know, but there is vision of this, so.
Doran sweeps it out, and Showmaker's TP is going to get forced, whether he likes it or not. Shiu as well, looking for a base. I think Death Dance might be done. It's going down quickly, but T1, they get the TP. Is that enough?
Yeah, they're going to get the 1 TP. Shiu still has his. He gets his Death Dance.
Ooh. Good restraint from DK, not actually using both.
Yeah, she was still backing. I feel like maybe they wanted to take the fight after the Baron, but that's not the best angle. Still, it's a very close game. 2 Infernal Drakes for DK. Soul points.
Anyone getting caught at this point by a bowling ball, by a barrel slam, and blown up in seconds. Good vision here as barrel.
He's going backwards at least, and he's just dead! Explodes into a flurry of Infernal Cinders, and now Lucid tries to follow up on it and might just die for the sins of Barrel. And now, T1 5v3, looking for Showmaker, and it should be enough as down he goes. The shutdown comes through, and DK, they gave us hope. We had a game for about 3 minutes, and then it wasn't a game again.
Unlosable, VODS! You said it yourself! And it starts with Barrel, and it ends with Barrel. Tries to look for a play, gets caught. The wave clear is decent. Ult is there for Shiu, but I don't think they can do this.
It doesn't look very likely as Shiu's getting bursted. He does get an insane amount of health back, but eventually it's just too much. The arrow, though, in the base. That's 2 kills! No! Barrel respawns! The game isn't over, guys! It's not over! It's still alive! Well, you know, I thought I was a strong caster cursor, but you are on a different level, sir.
Caster curses aren't real!
I can't believe I even gave myself credit when I'm sitting next to the god. Palms are sweaty, mom's
the regular
spaghetti.
season game!
All right, we're setting up for the Infernal.
Oh, we're not getting the. We're going for the fight. No one is trying to actually get this objective. It's all about the positioning.
All right, let's
Don't
see
know about Shiu.
who's got the hands, who's ready. The ult, it's gonna hit Faker away, and now the flank comes through for Shiu, but they don't commit to the fight.
Oh, that's the ult gone from Barrel. That's big. They're gonna try and burst it down. They're gonna try and flip. Doran is spotted.
I don't know if this is gonna work for DK. As now Barrel's going in, and the streak is not low enough. It's not low enough. They want to turn on the Doran now. It's getting real messy. It's getting incredibly messy. Doran's gonna go down, but so does the Drake to the side of T1. Lucid stays alive though. It's a 5v4 and all. Shiu, he wants to make this fight his. Shiu does a lot, but he holds up the door, and now a massive flame from Oder onto nearly everybody. Isn't enough damage is the question. Faker on the right side on the Victor. He might recreate the Chovy moment. Look at the base. Oh, the base is in shambles as well. Guma and Faker against aiming.
Oh, they don't have TP. And oh, he still has Baron! He still has Baron!
Still has Baron! It's still alive!
Can they push? I don't know who.
They have to fight over that.
But you can't. Well,
I mean, well, T1 might be able to like end the game or something, depending on the wave states.
Soul for Nexus.
Yeah.
I don't think Barrel falls for that. If there's one guy in the game, I'm like, you can't do it.
You can't get it past the LoL Master.
That's why he's the guru.
And Baron's gonna spawn
By
first.
the way, Barrel's level 6. This is a poor puppy with one item. He's level 16.
Yeah. Well, he has a lot of control over the vision.
Well, they don't though.
Well, he's trying his best.
He's trying his hardest.
He's spending as much money as he is physically capable of to contest the vision.
Don't lose. If I would have actually swore if we lost the game over. I don't care who loses, but if anyone at this point loses over Raptors, I would be very upset.
That would be a bit of a problem. I think the coaches would be very upset too.
That would make me curse.
Yeah.
Not in a caster way, just in a normal human being.
Yeah. Casters aren't normal human beings, so it makes sense. It checks out. Does he have death cap? Is what we're looking at here. Yes, he does. That's full build for Faker.
Full item up.
Yeah, Showmaker.
So now it's between aiming and Faker. Who can carry harder and which team can enable their player to play better? Because Guma, yeah, he's also sitting at 6 items. His burst is great, but the sustained damage just doesn't compare. The arrow?
The arrow. And that's a big one. TP coming in. Oh, they got a Pantheon as well. And the Zonus comes in. Can they get there in time to defend him is the question. And now aiming. He's getting slept. And he's taken out. Down goes aiming. The one guy who could get it done for DK. And they're trying to zone here for Shiu. He has incredible amounts of healing, but it's not enough against T1. They get the clean ace, and they will end game 3 in their favor.
마지막 점을 처치했습니다.
And after all of that, Doran finds aiming and cuts him down.
Chops down the aiming tree. And there it is. T1 will take the 2-1 victory over DK tonight. Only 2 of us predicted it. And